Well, greetings YouTube, LMS Tactical here. I hope you guys are all doing good. I'm trying a different setup here, so I don't know if you can see everything. I'm going to show you something, but first I want to tell you how it all came about. I got a buddy who's like a giant, I mean righteously a giant dude. His name is Special Ed, and if you knew him, you'd know why that's his name. He calls me up. There's a history with this dude. He calls me up, and one time he was telling me about this kick-ass shotgun reloading, press, and I hung up the phone with him and bought it, and that's this red one here, the Mech Junior. That cost me a shitload of money that I didn't have. A couple weeks, a month later, he's telling me about this reloading RCBS automatic powder dispenser. I'm like just a compulsive. If you show me something and it's cool, I gotta have it. So I keep telling him, don't tell me about shit. You know, it costs me money, but I do love it. I mean, to his credit, everything he's ever recommended is top of the line, really cool stuff, and I'm better off for having it. But I just, I hate spending money that I don't have. So he calls me up the other day. I'm sitting there minding my own business, trying to train the land shark. That's my new German Shepherdor Mason. I just cleaned all the blood off my hands from our morning fight. He likes to wrestle, and he's still got those baby teeth. He's worn out right now. But he tells me this. He goes, "Hey, I just found the next gun that I want to buy." And I'm like, "Oh God." And he tells me about the Mossberg Shockwave. And oddly enough, I'd never heard about it. I don't shop around for weapons and things because I'm afraid that I'll have to have them. So I try to stay out of that shit. I mean, I've got enough. But as he's talking, I Google Mossberg Shockwave, and within 2 days, I got one. I told my wife about it, showed it to her. She was like, "Holy shit, that's really nice." And so that's my Christmas present. She said, "Go get one," and I went and got one. I'm going to show it to you, but I want to talk about it too because I didn't just buy it without doing a little bit of research. And when you research them, if you know about them, this is all old news. If you don't know about them, and even if you do, I want to talk a little bit about some of the debate that takes place online, which is inevitable, and that's cool. Everybody's got their opinion. But when you look it up, you start to see, it's like there's two camps. Either people love it, or they see no use for it, no practical use for it. I'm like in a different category when it comes to weapons. They're like watches. I have a lot of watches, and I don't wear any watches when I'm playing with the shark because he bites them. But I just like things that are intricate and they function. It's hard to explain. You either get it or you don't. I mean, cameras, watches, things that have moving parts and they do what they're supposed to do, and there's tight tolerances, and I just love that shit. There's something about it, man. So subsequently, I have a lot of watches that I don't wear and a lot of guns that I don't shoot. But I like them. They have an aesthetic pleasantry to them. Something that when I look at them, I feel good. It releases dopamines in my head or whatever the fuck. I don't know. So I'm one of these guys that there are weapons that honestly I probably would never use, in terms of like a self-defense mode or whatever. But they're so awesome and kind of unusual, or they just feel good, or they look different, that I just have to have it. And I'm just not afraid to admit it, Now, in this case, I was thinking that was probably going to be the case after reading the debates and watching 100 videos on YouTube, people shooting it. Now, let me show it to you first of all, because it's not legal in, the ultra-liberal states. Like, I think California, it's not legal. Probably not Maryland, D.C., all those liberal states. But this is for those that have never seen it before, look how small this is. This is a 12-gauge Mossberg Shockwave, and to me, it looks like something right out of Mad Max. I mean, if you haven't seen Mad Max, you don't know what I'm talking about, but this is like an end-of-the-world thing. I mean, you can conceal it, man. I mean, better than you could a regular shotgun, regular length shotgun. Now, when they sell this, it's really weird. The ATF, not only did they had to put a multi-page letter on the website of Mossberg. And by the way, Remington makes one too. It's not called Shockwave. It's called the Remington fucking copy Mossberg or whatever the fuck it is. But the ATF had to put a letter on there that tells any officers that stop you with it or whatever why it's legal. Because it's if it was a shotgun and it was this short, it wouldn't be legal. So they don't classify it a shotgun. These are the games that we have to play in a liberal society. We can't call things what they are. And the ATF's reasoning, and I'm not complaining, I'm glad we can have it, you know. In my opinion, we shouldn't have to depend on them. We should be able to have whatever weapon we want. But, you know, that's another story. But because it's not designed to be shot from the shoulder, they classify it as a firearm, not a shotgun. And, you know, there are people on YouTube that have somehow they've gotten around it, I guess. I don't know if this changes it. I believe, because they send you, when you buy it, you get a copy of this letter too. I have it. And they state in there that if you make any alterations or change it, it's open to interpretation. And in my opinion, that would probably not go well for whoever modified it. Now, they do have these shoulder braces, and you can't call it a stock. It's something you add on here, and it gives you a little brace. To me, I have a Mossberg 500. That's a short. I've got two. I've got one with a pistol grip, and I've got one, you know, with a stock. And that one that I camouflaged, there's a video on it, camouflaging your shotgun that I made. But if you are going to extend this, in my opinion, you've defeated the entire purpose of having a cool, short, I call it a shotgun, a short platform. So I just can't see the point. Now, this strap right here is, I personally don't think it looks bad. Some people are like, oh man, I'd have to take that off. I would not take it off. I've done some reading on it, and it makes sense. Apparently, when they were testing it, picture this without the strap. It's so, you know, it's designed to be fired from the hip. So when people would fire it, it's got such a recoil, especially the 12 gauge, that the weapon would pull out of your hand, and now look where your hand is. Now, they make this in semi-automatic as well, and it's like double the price. And these are about, you know, everything, tax, license, out the door. I think they were advertised at like $359. It's going to cost you about $420 or something to get it out the door, everything. But yeah, to me, and I've never shot it. I can't remember. I think it's a 5-round capacity, but to me, semi-automatic, it's not worth the money. And plus, in, you know, a nanosecond, you're out of ammo. And I like the pump. I just do. But it's from a practical standpoint. So it meets the very cool weapon criteria for me, for Mike. I like to have it. It looks good in my safe. It feels good. But the more I look at it, the more I hold it, and I'm going to shoot it Saturday, the more I see it as an absolute badass home defense, truck defense, car defense, shitter defense. You know, you're in the bathroom. I mean, to me, it's awesome. And imagine if you were to, oh man, I don't know where I have these. Do I have them anywhere? I thought I did. I got some really cool rounds. Some insane rounds. I think I did a video on them, but they're like some crazy ass round they're RIP, R.I.P., rest in peace. They don't stand for rest in peace, but they are R.I.P. rounds. To me, that's the perfect round to load in this weapon. Now, in my case, it came with a scabbard, which I think is kind of cool because it doesn't seal on top, but you can adjust the bottom here so that it's protruding like this. You can throw it on your back, on your shoulder, and you can, as you're riding your horse or your Harley, you can pull it out and engage the fucking zombies. So, you know, the people that are debating it are basically talking about, you know, that it's useless. And there's videos, you can go see Hickok 45, who's the guru. If you haven't seen Hickok 45, you're missing out. His YouTube channel. He shoots everything, and I mean, that dude will hit a fucking a quarter at 1,000 yards with a fucking 22 Derringer. I mean, the guy is unbelievable. You know, over his shoulder while he's drunk, standing on one leg. But you know, he shoots them. He shoots 2 of them. You know, single-handedly. Now they do make a 20 gauge. Which I went back and forth, because I don't have a 20 gauge, and I thought maybe a 20 gauge would be funner to shoot because, you know, the 12 is such a beast. Personally, I couldn't get past the idea of, you know, if I'm going to put something down range, if I'm going to pull the trigger and send something out of a barrel, in a life or death situation, I want as much inertia and weight and mass coming out of there as possible. So I just couldn't get past the 12 gauge. I mean, it may not be a range toy because you can't shoot it too much without it, you know, it probably hurts a little bit. I mean, blasting away like with a weapon like this on the range all day is probably not a good idea. But for home defense, man, and I load my own 12 gauge too. And I thought, you know what, if I get a 20 gauge, I'm gonna have to get a whole different press because there's no addition that I can add to this to change the gauge. I have to get a whole new press. They also make a 410. 410, again, you know, I mean, it might be good for a snake gun or something like that, but fun to shoot. I'm not knocking it, but too small for me. So they make the 410, the 20 gauge, the 12 gauge, and the semi-automatic. But yeah, you know, when was housebreaking Mason, my little land shark here, you know, I'm in the basement, right? So the basement has marble floors, so that's where you want to housebreak him. I don't let, you know, I'm just now starting to let him go upstairs to the rest of the house. But I would sleep with the basement door wide open all night long. I slept in an easy chair, man. And, you know, anybody could just walk right in and slaughter us, except for the fact that I'm armed to the teeth and I'm a light sleeper. But what a great weapon to have, you know, in your lap under your blanket. You know, some dude comes in, you're gonna die, boom, you know, and you got to clean up on aisle 5. But yeah, the Mossberg Shockwave. If you know, if you're interested in a shotgun, check it out. If you're just interested in looking at it, go watch the YouTube videos. If you want to buy one and you don't have enough money, start saving up a little. Hi, Mason. Here's Mason just came in. Look, I don't know if you can see him. Oh, I broke it. Mason, where'd you go? Hi, Mason. There he is. There. Oh, that's how Daddy gets bloody. You stop biting Daddy. Here, kissy, 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 kissy. Good boy, good boy. He drinks his own blood. Mason, you stop biting Daddy. He really requires an awful lot of attention. Look at that. No bite. No bite. Mason. No bite. He's getting better at biting softer, but you can see why I don't wear a watch. You stop that. Anyways, yeah, so if you're interested in getting one of these bad boys, check it out. And, you know, if you don't have the funds, you know, maybe save up a little bit or something. They're not that expensive, and they're just really cool. God dang it, he just untied my boot. He is so good at that. I tuck my laces in, and he pulls them out. He is, look at this guy, wagging his tail as he destroys. Look at this. Mason, he's mad because I'm not giving him attention. You stop being a bad boy, Mason. Hey. You stop that. You stop that. No, don't, gosh. You always got to bite. But, so yeah, check it out. The Mossberg Shockwave. In the meantime, you guys stay safe. I'm going to go out and try to wear this dog out a little bit, finish playing with him. And, yeah, thank you for watching. LMS Tactical, Mossberg Shockwave. I'm out.